We have a second-round game for the Midwest region, off to a blazing start between the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the #1 ranked team in the country. And North Carolina, with its precision offense, jumps ahead of the Sooners 8-5. They have hit all 4 of their shots for the field, the Tar Heels. And King Rice, their guard, has led the way with 2 layups from the left side. This is Scott Williams for North Carolina. That's their first miss from the field. I'm Brett Musburger with Billy Packer. Welcome. You're looking at the Dean. Dean Smith. And Billy, he has to be pleased in the early going.
It's been feast or famine in these type of games for Dean Smith this year. Iowa blew the North Carolina Tar Heels out in a fast-paced game, but then they come back against a club like Duke and play very well. So far today, they're handling Oklahoma extremely well.
Rick Fox sends it to Pete Chilcutt.
First time Oklahoma in the zone on the out-of-bounds.
Williams misses again, and Oklahoma down with the rebound. Skeeter Henry with 1 field goal. It was a 3 for the Sooners. Jones with their other one at deuce, and it's 8-5. Here's Jones again, the great JC player out of the Detroit area, and they send it back to McCovery. Davis alone underneath, and it's knocked away alertly by Rice. Oklahoma ball. So in Austin, this is the first of 2. The winners advance on to the Sweet 16 in their region, which will be held in Dallas, Texas. The winner here will play the winner of our second game today, Dayton against Arkansas. So a very talented division. North Carolina seeded 8th. And you have to believe that they were the lowest seeded number 18 because the Sooners came into the tournament #1 overall. North Carolina ball lost on the handle and out of bounds, Oklahoma.
Friend, as you can see, North Carolina not afraid to get in an up-tempo game and take the break whenever it's available. Early on, they hit Chilcutt. Both teams can go to their bench. Oklahoma gets more offensive production, however, when they go to theirs.
Billy Tubbs, his 10th year with the Sooners. Very talented cast. He's done a superb job of coaching, having lost several of his stars. Smokey McCovery with a miss there. Tapped back and out of bounds, and it goes over to the Tar Heels. Shooting will be a key in this game, and Carolina, which normally hits over 50, this could be their first year in a long time when they don't hit that margin. They're at 49.9, and they're off to an excellent start today. McCovery fouling Rice. Billy, the folks back in North Carolina, they have read and they have heard so much criticism of King Rice, but in talking to the Tar Heel staff, they think that their most improved player right now is the young guard, and he certainly will be the focus here today.
An awful lot of attention given to King Rice. He's required to do a lot on this club because it's not a very good perimeter team. Good steal.
Freshman Lynch losing it. Henry, and then Lynch comes back on him, and he fouls Henry.
Brent, you and I saw Lynch early on when North Carolina played Georgetown. He is a young warrior. Doesn't mind going in there and mixing it up. Excellent athletic skills and has a fine year as a freshman.
So the star of the Sooners will step to the line, and Billy Tubbs will go to his bench, sending in Terry Evans, the 6'1 freshman who averages better than 9 points a game. But here is Skeeter Henry, 6'7", the senior out of Grand Prairie, Texas. And there are an awful lot of Texans here in Austin who are having a very difficult time cheering for the Sooners down here. In fact, it's amazing how many Tar Heel fans we have found deep in the heart of Texas today.
Well, wait until Arkansas walks into this arena.
A long pass, and Fox breaks free.
See, this is what North Carolina is doing. Because they know that Oklahoma is trying to push up on the defensive pressure full court, they're going long on them. Good move.
A very positive start by the Tar Heels. 10-7, extremely well coached. They went for an extra long session yesterday, and Coach Tubbs and the Sooners will have their hands full here this afternoon. North Carolina fans can take heart in the fact that the ACC has not lost in this tournament yet. Clemson advancing on to the Sweet 16. They'll have their hands full down in New Jersey. UConn, the darlings of the tri-state area. And out west, UNLV moves along to the West region in Oakland. Connecticut wins the Big East in Madison Square Garden. Then they go up the Turnpike to Hartford, and they win their first 2 rounds. Now they'll go to the New Jersey Meadowlands and see if they can make it to the Final Four. And here, North Carolina Billy's putting on a clinic.
Well, what you're seeing is an awful lot of backdoor cuts. Now, if you ever scout a North Carolina team, you know that they run the backdoor as well as anybody in the country on those overplays. Oklahoma's going to have to get some weak side help.
Oklahoma pounds it on the inside, and William Davis, their 6'6 senior center, with his first field goal, makes it 11-9.
big substitution is going to come when Dean Smith has to take King Rice out of the game. Where does his primary ball handler come from?
Lynch out on top, taking the pass from Rice. And now they move it, drop it inside beautifully on the penetration. Lynch's shot is rejected by Jones. Carolina gets a second attempt.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Oklahoma go a little zone if there's any more of those backdoor cuts.
Here's Rodel, who checked in during that timeout, shipping it baseline, and Jones alertly knocks it out of bounds. Here's that backdoor cut, Billy.
Here's what we're talking about. Good pass, overplay by the forward. You can see Patterson completely out of position. Excellent layup on the inside by Madden. And there's Kevin Madden scoring again. Madden was projected to be an all-ACC first-team performer this year. He has not been that, averaging under 10 points a game, but he does have good ability inside.
Patterson's basket counts, making it 14-11. Fouled on the play, and Damon Patterson will step to the free throw line for the Sooners.
Runner-up for Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan. How many kids from the greater Detroit area have we seen so far in this tournament? I was talking to Jackie Jones before the game. I said, you fellas ought to put together a summer all-star game, bring everybody back. I mean, it'd be something to see.
Completes the three-point play, making it a 2-point Tar Heel lead. And Ball State jumps ahead of Louisville. The Battle of the Cardinals out in Salt Lake City.
Good dribbling.
Crowd behind the Oklahoma sideline wanted a turnover on that play. They thought he picked it up and traveled. And Henry commits the personal foul. Billy, tell us about this young man from Germany, Henrik Rodel.
He did some prepping at Chapel Hill in high school, then went back to Germany, and of course was recruited by Dean Smith. He has come on late in the season, shows the ability to shoot from the outside, learning the defensive structure as well. And there's that athleticism by Oklahoma's Davis.
Coming down with a shot. Knocked out of bounds by Carolina. It'll be Oklahoma ball. Oklahoma higher seed, so they'll wear the white jerseys, and that's the case with all the tournament games, of course. As you see Coach Tubbs over there in front of the Oklahoma bench.
Brent, what makes Oklahoma so tough in this press? That with the exception of Evans out there right now, all the other four players are interchangeable in the press. So no matter who they guard, they can handle it.
He stepped over the line and turned it over. North Carolina ball.
Are you watching the press? No matter who picks up who, they can go out and guard a guy on the perimeter, much like UNLV does. They mirror each other very much in their defensive principles. Really attack that ball. There's another backdoor cut. No passing angle for Madden.
Fox, a strong offensive player, had that one shot back. He has not yet gotten his game on track. He'll move it outside and drop one in for 3 points for North Carolina. 17-12. They build a 5-point lead here in the first half.
With Fox, although a forward, is their leading three-point shooter.
Jones with the jumper. Madden rebounding, just where Carolina wants to be in this game, out on top. Make Oklahoma play catch-up if they can. The Sooners extremely talented, as everyone knows. Williams puts it down. Beautiful move by Scott Williams on the inside, and if Carolina continues to pound inside, they're going to make it tough. Patterson coming to baseline, commits an offensive foul.
Brent, what we're seeing right now is Oklahoma players are going one-on-one against a Carolina defense that plays very well from the weak side. Carolina, on the other hand, is getting total team movement, 5 fellas getting involved in the offense, and that's working much better for them.
Hubert Davis checks in on this dead ball situation for North Carolina. He's a 6'4" sophomore, and Tubbs will have to be concerned about the changeup this gives the Carolina attack. The average is almost 10 points a game coming off Coach Smith's bench.
Pretty good shooter, but we still see King Rice has been in this game the whole time. There's no way you play 40 minutes against Oklahoma. And I'll be anxious to see what happens when he comes out of there.
Rice on a beautiful penetrating move, could not drop the layup.
Oh.
And then Lynch underneath comes up with it. And the foul called underneath on Oklahoma.
George Lynch is one of the most fierce rebounders I've seen come into college ball. 6'7", and he has a nose for it. And as I said, going back to the first time I ever saw him playing the collegiate level against Georgetown, he wasn't afraid to go in there with Alonzo Mourning and Mutombo and get his hands on a lot of balls.
Billy, that's the second personal committed by Patterson of the Sooners as the freshman comes to the line.
Well, one of the things Billy Tubbs never has to worry about, and that is going to his bench with fellows that can come off and score and perform in his offense. Because of the bulk that North Carolina has in there, I don't think it's going to be too long before we're going to see a substitution by the name of Tony Martin come in and start using his body.
7 straight points by the Tar Heels. They lead it 21-12. Jones double team. And a rebound by Lynch again, demonstrating just what Billy Packer had told you. Now it is 3-on-2. Rice with a beautiful pass to Williams, and what a great defensive play. Jones comes back. Lead man Davis.
And there was a case where Davis had to pull back and help out because Rice had made the penetration. No floor balance.
And across the way, Billy, we see Tony Martin up, and indeed he will be checking into this game. Just as you predicted, Fox off the screen, hits the 3, and Fox has nailed 2 threes, moves his game to the outside here in the first half. Jones answers with 1 for the Sooners, and here we go.
One of the things North Carolina does is get back very well on defense, but you know when they go back on defense, they settle in the paint. Oklahoma pushes the ball down the sidelines, and they'll take the 3. Very difficult to get back in transition against them.
This game demonstrates the depth of college basketball when an Oklahoma and a North Carolina can come together in a second-round game as they are here this afternoon. So many more teams are not qualified to move on to the Sweet 16. And it's Williams on the outside, rims out. Patterson down for the Sooners, and now it's McCovery.
Scooter Henry setting up over here for a 3.
He's got it. Bingo.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Brent. You settle down in the paint defensively. Scooter was sitting himself over in that corner waiting for the ball to be rotated. Skeeter, excuse me. I got the Scooter and the Skeeter together.
Easy to do, I might add. Jones jumps out on Williams. Oh, Jones fouls Fox, and he fires the shot as he draws the foul, and Tim Higgins, the lead referee, says no shot. The foul goes against Jones. Tim Higgins, who has worked games in the Big East, also the Atlantic 10, working this game with Joe Mingle and also Nate Humphrey. And of course, we've got a timeout here in Austin, and we'll be right back. 24-20, North Carolina. The Frank Irwin Center, the University of Texas. And how about those Longhorns as they advance on up at Indianapolis? And tomorrow they'll be taking on Purdue of the Big Ten. Here it's North Carolina and Oklahoma. They're all in the same region, and the survivors here in Austin and in Indianapolis will move on to Dallas, Texas. Dallas about a 3-hour drive from Austin, and Houston is about a 1.5 to 2-hour drive. Billy?
Brent, you can see Billy Tubbs did go to the zone. This is something that will give North Carolina a lot of trouble. Takes them out of that very intricate total movement half-court offense they have, and they're not a good perimeter shooting team.
Henry misses that 3. She'll cut off. He's got Fox, and he just threw it too hard.
Brent, I'll point out something else. When you look up at the clock, we're at the 10-minute mark, roughly. This looks like it's a 100-point game. Billy Tubbs is 94-0 when his clubs score 100.
And Ball State ambushing Louisville out in Salt Lake.
North Carolina staying in a real good overplay man-to-man.
Martin was all alone. Knocked that jumper down to make it a 2-point game.
They stay in their matchup zone now. Fox, the best shooter by far out on the floor right now from the perimeter, and he's going to take it.
That's his 3rd 3-pointer of the first half.
Right, and if you're Oklahoma, you got to match up over there with Fox. He's the fella more than likely going to take it.
Commits a silly foul, reaching in on Henry. He knew it. Rick Fox is a marvelous story. He was born in Montreal, raised in the Bahamas, and in 1982, when CBS televised that classic between Georgetown and North Carolina and New Orleans, he was watching with a group of folks in a hotel lobby, and it was that night when he decided that he'd love to follow in the tradition of the Tar Heels. Attended high school up at Indiana. Bob Knight made a run at him when he was a senior, but it was too late. He was headed to Chapel Hill, and he's never regretted it. Now Williams on the inside, who never committed a foul in his life, just picks up number 1 here.
Scott this year only fouled out of 4 games. Fox leads on their club. He fouled out 7 times in ball games. Another thing about Rick Fox, you talk about the good bloodlines, his mom was an Olympic performer in the high jump. So, you know, he couldn't fail. And didn't get an opportunity to play that senior year up in Indiana in high school.
I love the one description of this game this morning in the Austin newspaper. The writer summed it up. Number 1 in the rankings, being Oklahoma, meets number 1 in reputation, meaning North Carolina. What fabulous record Dean Smith has had with the Tar Heels through the years.
Well, prior to this year, Dean Smith's club, since it's gone to the 64-team field, has never been seated lower than 3rd. So he has had some tradition there.
This is McCovery looking on the inside, and they're trying to take it away from Jones. So Martin missing, and now Chilcutt with another rebound, and it's 27-22. 9 minutes left in the first half.
And North Carolina in that zone will have to extend it a little bit because every player on the floor right now for Oklahoma can shoot the 3 and shoot it well.
Fox has killed them here in the first half. He just made the pass. 4 of 4 on the inside, and on the throw into Chilcutt, he's fouled by the big man, Tony Martin.
A maneuver that North Carolina loves to use against the zone, and that is to rotate the ball and then throw back to the weak side for the dunk. That time, Martin's quickness was able to stay with Chilcutt.
Neither team yet over the limit. Chilcutt in the act of shooting comes up, and he'll have a pair of free throws, and Fox will sit down. One of the things, of course, that basketball fans are certainly aware is the way that Dean Smith, through the years, has utilized his bench. Probably as much as any coach in basketball. Not so much for one game, but he always looks down the road. He always likes to give sophomores and juniors some playing time. So when that next season comes and he loses the J.R. Reeds and the Michael Jordans, he's got players ready to slip in there and make another drive toward the Sweet 16.
Before this year, he went 23 years with never having more than 10 losses. So it's been a program there for a long, long time.
Lynch with a great talent at saving that ball over the end line. And there's a foul, and it's going to go. Let's see now. That was not a personal foul call. It was off his foot, was the signal by the referee. Off the foot, and it will go over to North Carolina out of bounds. No personal.
Good job by Chilcutt just to catch that pass because it was fired about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You can see the zone. 1-2-2, kind of matching up out front. North Carolina almost has to get something going inside here because they don't have a jump shooter. Rodel will try.
Rice does not have a lot of confidence in his shooting ability. Certainly, that's the weakest part of his game. But he's done a superb job here in the first half of this game.
What the Oklahoma zone does do, it hurts North Carolina's perimeter game, but it also takes out the frenzied activity that they create with their defense.
Off Chilcutt's hands on the pass in, and it goes to the Sooners. And this is the thing that Carolina must do, according to Coach Smith. Protect the ball in the half court. He doesn't mind a turnover in a full court scramble, but boy, he hates to see that happen there.
Well, Billy Tubbs a little upset right there in the fact that Rick Fox is able to get in the game when Tubbs' club had the ball in their possession.
Well, we've got a timeout. Tubbs is still bellowing at the ref, and we'll come right back. Welcome back to Austin. And they're the wife and daughter of Coach Billy Tubbs. Pat, his wife, and Taylor, who for several years was a cheerleader with the Oklahoma Sooners. Watching his son Tommy is here. And yesterday morning, Billy was out jogging with Taylor out around this lovely town. If you've never been in Austin, Texas, one of the underrated towns in America, it is just beautiful. Great shot by Skeeter Henry there for the baseline.
Brent, North Carolina trying to go to their half-court trap. Very difficult with the quickness that Oklahoma has and how far they can extend on the weak side their jump shooters. Tough to run a trap against them. And you can see Billy Tubbs said, okay, I've shown you all the man-to-man you're going to get to see to work those back picks. Now you're going to have to show me you can shoot from the outside against the zone. This will be tough for North Carolina.
Davis. Rice, Fox attacking it along with Chilcutt and Lynch. Chilcutt hits the first shot against it.
And they go inside. It's the best team they can have on the floor, though, for jump shooting, because Davis and Fox can hit it.
And Martin comes right back for the Sooners. Martin is out there with Patterson and Jones, McCovery, and Henry. And the Sooners now trying to put together a run, and they'll have to ignite it here at the defensive end.
Good idea by Chilcutt, jumping up, looking for the pass while he's in the air.
Great respect for Fox.
Great defense that time by Henry.
Foul against Fox. That's his second personal. He has scored 11 points here in the first half.
Brent, Skeeter Henry at 6'7" is so quick, anticipates so well, that that jump shot that you would normally get off if you were Hubert Davis just wasn't there. Kind of like Connecticut, the way they swarm you when you go cross court.
And Billy, he scored 10 points in the first half. He passed into Martin, and Martin hit it off North Carolina players like and out of bounds.
Well, an all Big 8 performer. He's had a great senior year. Last year, primarily a role player. You got to remember, this team lost 2 first-round draft choices off their squad last year, and they're back at a #1 position. Most teams would have to rebuild after losing players like Mookie Blaylock and Stacey King.
Billy Tubbs, of course, does that by going the JC route. He went that way himself, and he has great respect for those athletes. McCovery missing, and Lynch pulls down the rebound for the Tar Heels.
Excellent timing by Lynch, because that ball hit the top of the board, and he still kept on the floor.
Fox finally missed from three-point range here this afternoon.
Martin really putting a body on Williams on the inside. And again, I want to point out that by going zone, Billy Tubbs changed the course of this game in terms of the tempo. So although it's working for him in a half-court situation, it takes away his ability to get in a running game.
Out of bounds, bad pass on the turnover. Another mistake with their half-court game, and that will put the Sooners back in this in a hurry.
Well, you can see they're much more comfortable going against the man-to-man.
Yeah, and Oklahoma starting to warm to the task here. They have not been, as Sooner fans certainly are aware of, in Oklahoma City and Tulsa and up in that part of the country where they've watched them all season. Oklahoma has not been a first-half team. Where they get you is after the intermission. I mean, they have been lethal in the second half.
I think there are 2 reasons for that, Brent. 1, because of the fatigue factor, and 2, because I think Billy Tubbs, because of his great ability to go to that bench and get production, is able to find out who his hot hands are, and then he goes to them in the second half. He has a great confidence in this team all the way up and down the bench.
Martin rises up, knocked out of bounds by Davis. It'll go to Carolina.
And now with both Davis and Martin in the game, he's got some real bulk down in low.
Madden fouled as he comes into the paint. Damon Patterson fouled him, and he commits his 3rd personal foul of the game.
Kevin Madden last year was All-ACC's 2nd team. Of course, this club lost J.R. Reed, went out early into the draft. They'd be pretty potent with him in that lineup.
Terry Evans replacing him. The Oklahoma staff likes to joke about the fact that they have a lot of fouls to give.
They do that. It's a nice feeling. Better than having 6 in the Big East if you've got a team that's almost 12 deep of interchangeable parts.
He's one of their fine youngsters. Evans, his daddy played for John McLeod in Oklahoma.
There you can see the man-to-man giving up the outside shot to Evans. He'll take it if he realizes Fox is going to play off that much.
And Martin gets the bounce.
Some touch.
6 points off the Sooner bench here in the first half. And it's a 3-point lead for North Carolina as Oklahoma back. Great pass to Williams. Could not put it down. And a foul is called against Carolina.
And there's that cross-court pass with Williams coming from the weak side against the zone. But he's got to be able to hang on to this one. That was perfectly thrown by King Rice.
Williams will take a seat. Two personals out with 4:40 to go in the first half. Billy?
Now, I'm looking for the inside game between Martin and Davis to really be tough. There's Davis. That's a great twosome Billy Tubbs has in there because they do have the bulk and power, and they're beating North Carolina to the spot.
Carolina has led it all the way, but it's very precarious right now. Only a point.
Little 1-3-1 trap now by Oklahoma, causing a lot of problems. With Henry at 6'7", it's very difficult to throw the ball cross court.
Tried to get a touch pass. Madden fortunate because he was right there and he drew the foul, so he'll come to the line and shoot a pair.
Just quick hands on the inside because Chilcutt had the right idea.
Davis commits his first personal of the game.
See, normally when you play a 1-3-1 trap like that, you can't have a big man like Henry out on top because your guards don't have that kind of size. But at 6'7", he becomes a tough target.
Henrik Rodel checking back into the game. And Fox sits down.
North Carolina shooting right up around the 70% mark as a team from the foul line. Madden almost exactly the same as the squad, 69-6.
So Madden ends a string of 6 straight Sooner points. It's a 3-point Tar Heel lead. We're down to 4 minutes left, first half.
Martin and Davis on the blocks causing havoc.
Davis going to work and a chance to complete the three-pointer.
Fred, I don't know if anybody in the country has two players on the box as active and as powerful as Davis and Martin can be. And Billy Tubbs went to this lineup about 6 minutes ago, and it's really caused problems for North Carolina. And the thing about them, although they're only about 6'7", even if you've got big people, they get their chest right in there, much like Larry Johnson from UNLV, and it's tough to defend them.
We've got a timeout at 3:51 as Oklahoma and North Carolina are tied at 33, their first tie since the opening tap-off. Mr. Billy Packer goes right on the center spot. Chris Jackson against Kenny Anderson, a dream matchup. You got the first draft. You want a guard. Who do you take?
I'll tell you what, I go back in time and think what it would be like to have participated against players with that quickness and that much ability. I mean, they just come from a different era.
You folks are going to enjoy Georgia Tech and LSU coming your way a little bit later. Here we're tied at 33. North Carolina with the ball. Billy?
There you can see that very active 1-3-1 half-court trap with Henry out on the top. North Carolina's got to figure out a way to get the ball down on the baseline and then go back inside in a two-man game.
Foul is called on Carolina after the steal by Oklahoma.
Brent, you can see right here, North Carolina trying to do everything out front. The answer is to get the ball. See Chilcutt coming down in behind that defense to get the ball down on the baseline somehow. It is of no value to be out there on the wings or out on the front.
One field goal over the last 6 minutes for North Carolina. And the defense of the Sooners, when they switch to the zone, has really turned this game around. The freshman steps up to the line. Oklahoma's first lead in the game at the 3:28 mark, first half.
And of course, it was Evans that turned the Towson State game around when Henry went out with the technical foul, never to return. Billy put him on the bench, and Evans hit the threes that put Oklahoma in a safe position. Now they move the half-court trap all the way up to three-quarter court. North Carolina just cannot get the ball on the baseline.
An 11-2 run here by the Sooners. All over Rodel.
There's where the ball's got to go, down on the baseline.
Instead, they turn it over, and it'll be a layup for McCovery.
But I really think that now's the time, and Dean Smith doesn't want to call one before the half, but his club has to restructure the way they're attacking this half-court trap. Nope, that's not the answer.
Another turnover. Sooners come back. Evans. Fox rebounding. Out to Rodel. Carolina running some seconds off here with 2:20 to go in the first half. Foul against McCovery of OU, and that's his second. Boy, that defense was out a long ways, Billy.
It really is. They're picking up with their half-court trap. They just moved that 1-3-1 to three-quarter court, and you can see North Carolina trying to do everything about 23 feet away from the basket. They cannot get the ball down on the baseline. Consequently, they can't attack the bottom side of the zone.
Lynch coming in, and Williams sits down for the Tar Heels. North Carolina led this game by 10 points, 24-14, and it has turned around since then. Roto missing the free throw. Sooners ball.
Clubs like Loyola Marymount, Vegas, Oklahoma, they attacked in bunches. You know, even if you've got a 10-point lead, it means nothing.
Here's Henry misfiring, and Martin coming up over the top, committed the personal foul. They're over the limit, so they're going to come up and shoot 1-and-1 here with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Good weak side block out by Kevin Madden.
Fox has led the way offensively for the Tar Heels, and he did that from three-point land. He has scored 11 points here in the first half. And for Oklahoma, they have been led by Davis and Henry. Henry has scored 10 and Davis 9, so there are top scorers here.
Brett, you talk so much about tradition. Today is another one of those occasions that North Carolina has a chance to move past Kentucky as the all-time winningest team in the history of college basketball. They've tied them a number of times, but they've never gotten over the hump. They're both sitting now on 1,478 wins.
It's an amazing string of 20 wins, 20 straight years for Dean Smith.
Reading their brochure is like reading the brochure for UCLA during the Wooden years. You know,
it's like reading the back pages of the Wall Street Journal.
It is. You can go on and on with stats. And it's not like Billy Tubbs doesn't have a pretty...
All alone, beautiful pass, and Davis couldn't get it to fall. OU missed an opportunity there, and it goes to the Tar Heels.
Davis and Martin both so quick off their feet.
Fox at the attack end, along with Lynch, and now the Sooners set up that pressure defense here at the midcourt line. They await the Tar Heels. North Carolina with only one field goal in the last 8 minutes and 15 seconds here of the half.
One of the fellows doing a great job in this 1-3-1 trap is Henry. Another fellow, though, doing a good job is Martin. He will not allow the pass to go into the foul line. You can watch how he overplays that area of the court. Makes it so tough to get the ball in there. And if you could, of course, you could make a nice pass, but he won't let you get it. He's there with King Rice right now, and as long as Rice is going to stay that far away, he won't worry. You get down around the foul line and watch it.
Carolina not yet looking for a shot as the shot clock is just coming inside 15 seconds. And now Rice off the penetration goes to Fox for his three, and he bangs it in.
That was a great shot because Fox didn't have the ball in his hands on the catch.
And Rice jumps over and commits the personal on McCovery with a minute to go.
And Brent, what I'm talking about there is that normally to get off your jumper, you've got to make a decent catch, have the ball in your hands properly. And Fox was able to somehow get the ball from the time it first touched his hands in a shooting position in a real hurry there. Great shot.
Billy, we have mentioned the junior college affiliation with Oklahoma. Smokey McCovery coming up to the line. He is out of that Midland JC that has produced so many great Sooner players, including his teammate Skeeter Henry. But Mookie Blaylock and Ricky Grace played guards at Midland. So Billy Tubbs scours the hinterland for those great JC players.
And in the case of Smokey, this gym is a place that he has good memories. He came in here as a high school player. His team won the state championship 40-0. Nice way to walk out as a high school senior.
The game is tied at 38. Minute to go here in the first half.
Dean Smith would like to go ahead and keep this ball and the clock as much as possible in his favor. He wants to score so he could get it back in 45 again, but it's not going to happen.
Rice swinging on the inside. They back it back out. Henry out all over Madden, and now they got him. Almost committed a turnover, a 5-second violation. Got it off just in time, and they wheel it back out to Rice. Now the shot clock is down toward 5. Long pass on the inside. Back to Davis, and he knocked it out of bounds. The Sooners hit it last. I thought perhaps he lost control, but the official right there said that it was touched, and they will put 5 seconds back on the shot clock. They were inside of 5 seconds when the ball was knocked out of bounds, so they put 5 back on it.
See the referee putting the ball down on the floor. North Carolina not coming to take it out. It could have been a violation.
And Henry commits his second personal, and it did not come at a good time for the Sooners.
That was a huge break for North Carolina because Oklahoma had played them great defense, got it all the way down to 3 seconds, and end up now putting North Carolina on the line.
And we say hello to those of you who've been out in Salt Lake watching Ball State and do a great job against Louisville. Here we're coming down to the last 16 seconds of the first half, and that free throw by Pete Chilcutt put North Carolina ahead of the #1 seed in the tournament, Oklahoma. It is now 40-38, a 2-point lead. Carolina was up by 10, and the Sooners came roaring back, sparked by a zone defense.
Billy Tubbs wants one shot here. Look for a surround. That surprise. Davis took that one. Now, that ball had no chance to go in. That's why it was not goaltending.
And the Tar Heels take a 2-point lead into the locker room. Coach Tubbs not happy with the officiating, and this game is being played down in the 80s. It's the Dean Smith's advantage. We'll continue after this message and a word for your local station. We're back, and North Carolina leading Oklahoma by 2 points, 40-38, and the Tar Heels of the ACC ahead of the Sooners of the Big Eight. And Billy, we take an overview. Both you and I really agreed. What a treat that was last night to watch Loyola Marymount and Bo Kimball.
Well, I hated to ring your room at 1:45 in the morning.
I was not asleep.
I know you weren't, and you know, I was actually cheering in the room. That was, I thought, one of the great scenes, considering the fact of all the tragedy that struck those kids when they were so close, traveling all the way across the country to go to that service in Philadelphia, all the way back. I really didn't think they'd have anything left in the second half when they had to play. It was just the opposite.
Hey, how tired do you think Terry Mills and the rest of the Wolverines are going to be?
I guarantee you, know, they just turn it up another notch. It was just great to watch.
And we'll turn it up a notch after this message and a word from your local station. Billy Packer back in Austin. I'm ready to start the second half. The Tar Heels lead it. Let's run down some of the numbers from the first half. Carolina shooting 49.9 for the season. And here today in the first half, when they've been able to get their shot off, they have blazed away at 57%. OU down at 42. Then on the outside at the perimeter, Rick Fox has nailed 4 of 5 from three-point land. And Oklahoma 7 of 21 on the outside. Normally they're better than that. Turnovers, the Tar Heels several times did not get shots off against that 1-3-1 zone. That allowed the Sooners to come rushing back. Fox with 14 points, and Skeeter Henry leading the way from Oklahoma as Billy Tubbs' wife Pat and daughter Taylor watch from the stands here, with the winner of this game due to move on to next week's regional in Dallas, Texas, and they will play the winner of our second game this afternoon. Still to come, it'll be the upstart Dayton Flyers against the Razorbacks of Arkansas. There's your favorite food, that Mexican cuisine down here in Austin, man. It's real good, even at the ballpark.
I guarantee you, we had a fine meal last night.
I may have to get some of that.
I'll tell you how cool, you know, what a guy I am as far as ethics. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, or I'd plug the guy. He served us well.
I'm glad you can't remember it. Trampoline, and it goes over to the Tar Heels.
I don't want to get in any trouble with the networks. I couldn't remember the name. Otherwise, I'd have said it. Brett, you know, you talk about those field goal shooting percentages. North Carolina has taken 10 less shots than Oklahoma, and that's why this game is so tight. And the reason for that, obviously, is how well Oklahoma played that 1-3-1 trap.
Rice, Madden, Williams, Fox, and Chilcutt. Chilcutt had a strong first half, misses the first shot. Madden trying to save it, stepped out of bounds, and it'll go over to the Sooners.
You know, I've never seen a big guy fall on the floor as much as Williams. He is down 2-3 times a half. He's got to get active. He only had 2 points in the first half.
Over and out of bounds on the pass. Tar Heels had a golden opportunity there for a turnover, but the Sooners maintain possession, and McCovery will take the ball out of bounds. Henry is his deep man in this set, and he'll go out to him.
North Carolina trapping a little bit themselves. Nobody on the weak side.
All alone.
Well, certainly Oklahoma ought to know how to face that defense because it's what they've run so well themselves in the first half.
Game is tied at 40. They let Rice have his shot, and he buries the 3.
I think about the opening score of the game when Rice drove, got his confidence up, and now he takes the good 3.
Knocked away from Patterson. He touched it last. It'll go over to the Tar Heels. And Ball State with that big lead on the Louisville Cardinals.
Isn't it a fine line what moves you on? I thought Oregon State had that game won until the last second. Here Ball State finds a chance to move themselves into a regional. North Carolina really working to get the ball down on the baseline here the second half. Doesn't surprise me. That pushes that zone back a little bit.
Here's Fox.
Good tap.
Chilcutt could not get it to fall. And a personal against Oklahoma.
Chilcutt is a player that has excellent hands on the inside.
That's number 4 on Patterson. He had to sit most of the first half because of the 3 personals.
And he'll bring Martin back in, so this is going to be the biggest front line that Billy Tubbs can put on the floor. But Patterson will sit down and bring Martin in there, Davis, and he also has Jones. And they don't lose any quickness.
Deep to Chilcutt. Fox sends it back. Now they punch into Madden. On the turnaround, he rises up beautifully for the jump shot.
Kevin Madden's favorite shot.
And right away, the Sooners come back at that Tar Heel defense. And North Carolina must continue to retreat as quickly as possible as Jones hits the 3.
Now, Brent, what it did by bringing Martin in the game with Davis, both of those guys will play the box. Jones actually does better when he can move out onto the perimeter. Has a great 3-point shot. Now back to man-to-man goes Oklahoma. This is something that North Carolina really took advantage of in the first half.
They go into that passing offense. Motion cuts. Went to the back door frequently in the early going.
Anybody who's ever watched North Carolina.
They turn it over. Breakout. It's Jones again for the Sooners. And they're back now at 45 with 17:26 to go. The game is deadlocked again.
Let's see if they stay in the man-to-man. They do stay in the man-to-man. There's the back door.
Back door to Fox. Oh. Tapped in, but it's interference. It was on the rim, and you cannot touch it. Chilcutt knew it. Tried to pull back, but could not in time, and the ball up on the rim, so that's a violation. It goes to the Sooners, and a chance now for OU to take the lead.
You can see, good call by the official. The ball definitely on the rim. Oh, what a try.
Jones, OU leads it.
Brent, this is the toughest lineup that North Carolina will have to stop, because Jones, they just can't match up with Jones.
7 straight points by Jones for the Sooners.
And of course, if you're going to have Williams that far away from the basket, that's not where he wants to be.
Into Madden, and he was fouled.
North Carolina have to figure out a way to get Scott Williams in the offense. With just 2 points, and he hasn't touched it much in scoring position, not at all here in the second half.
So 3 fouls on Martin. Amazing lead by Ball State out of the Mid-American Conference.
Rick Majerus left, but he also left all the players at Ohio State. Very experienced team. Let them move on like 7 seniors. Unusual situation for North Carolina. Both Kevin Madden and Scott Williams both lost both their parents while they were in school at North Carolina during that 4-year period of time. Very tragic.
The North Carolina family certainly was very supportive. Both youngsters staying in school and continuing their basketball tradition. That's a foul on Lynch as he jumps out on recovery.
It's not often that Smokey McCovery has somebody as strong as he is in the upper body that can strip him of the ball. It was only because of his strength that he was able to draw the foul. Otherwise, Lynch was off for an easy 2. Talking about stripping the ball in the Dove Hannafeld today. Again, setting that stage for Connecticut.
Foul against Williams. That's his 3rd personal. He continues to struggle with only 1 field goal and 3 fouls. He's 1 of 7 from the field here today.
Jim Calhoun puts the first team in the Sweet 16. Aggressive defense. Davis, great position.
Great block by Lynch. The freshman rose up and swatted it away. Off the foot.
Again, we talked about Lynch being a real warrior for a freshman. Davis had excellent position inside, and he gets it again.
Powered in and missed the shot, and Williams is fouled. Davis, out of frustration, reaching back on him, and that's his 2nd personal of the game.
But one of the things that's so tough with Davis, he's very, very strong, but even better than that, he's got great quickness, and he gets excellent position down inside. Really tough to handle.
16 minutes here in regulation. There's the back door to Williams, and they were fronted well. Good Oklahoma defense on the interior that time, and the Sooners with an opportunity to take the lead. It'll be Jones is short off the iron into Williams' hands.
Notice how well Oklahoma got back that time. They just wouldn't allow the break, even though North Carolina had the initial numbers.
Rodel left alone at the perimeter. He hits a 3. That's his first field goal of the game, and it could not come at a more important point. Offensive foul against Henry, and Henry has now picked up number 3.
Well, I said Billy Tubbs doesn't worry about fouls, but he would if he lost both Patterson and Henry this early in the game.
So we've got a timeout. The Sooners will regroup, and we'll come back with their lineup in a moment. Well, yesterday, Billy Tubbs railed against the media at his news conference for portraying what he felt his team as a group of thugs. He said, you can criticize me, but not my players. And he was defending especially Skeeter Henry. And with 3 personal fouls, he'll leave his star out on the floor. Oklahoma goes to the trap, and they force the turnover right away. It's 50-47, and North Carolina gets it back. Great play by King Rice, and Madden will bring the ball into the attack zone for the Tar Heels.
The reason King Rice was able to intercept that ball, Oklahoma brought it in so quickly, Rice didn't have a chance to get out of position.
They pound to Chilcutt, up high with the shot, and on the floor is McCovery in a foot race. Dishes now, and Martin hits the layup. It's a 1-point North Carolina lead. We're inside of 15 minutes in regulation.
That was a 2-on-2 break. That time, Rice and Lynch didn't get organized in getting one up top and one behind to handle it very well. North Carolina not getting that back door cut very much because they don't have the angle for the pass.
Turnover, Henry, Sooners lead it.
Nice job by Rice to recognize he doesn't want to get in a run-shoot game. Take his time.
Now if it's against the man, the Tar Heels will go into that passing motion offense. Henry out, even with 3 fouls, aggressively going out after Rodel. Gambling there.
Giving Chilcutt the shot. He's got to look at that basket a little bit more in this game. He's setting a lot of screens when he steps out, Brent. He looks to pass first, which is typical of North Carolina play.
Shot clock is down to 5, Billy.
Little four corners.
Rice was short with that. Sooners run it down. Oklahoma now playing with that look in their eye. Martin left baseline, and here we come.
Dean Smith is going to think about a time right here. He's one guy that loves to save him to the end of the game. But I think you pointed it out, Brent. It looks like Oklahoma ready to make one of those points and bunches moves.
They hit you like a tidal wave when they come, and in the second half, that's been their trademark this season. Just ask Missouri, ask Kansas. Now it's Lynch trying to back in. He could not against Davis. Rice will take it. They give him that perimeter shot. Davis off with the rebound, and Rice aggressively and alertly steals it for the Heels.
Dean Smith wanted them to attack. North Carolina not looking.
Kevin Madden gets inside Jones and hit it. Nice patience by Kevin Madden. Breaking long is Jones. Madden did not want to take the foul, but instead it'll go against Lynch.
Brent, there was a case where Madden was going on Jones. You see this so often in basketball. When a guy throws a long pass and you're the defender, you've got to go to the man that's going to catch the ball first and then try to make the steal. Don't jump up and go for the ball.
3 personals on Lynch.
And when you're playing Oklahoma, you better get back on defense because they're going to go for that long bomb pass.
Well, certainly coming into this game, North Carolina had Oklahoma's attention. Last year, Billy Tubbs Sooners advanced on to the Sweet 16, and they were eliminated by the ACC. They were punched out by Virginia. And here today, they're matched against North Carolina. And the ACC unbeaten in this tournament so far. That has been one of the headline stories.
Third-team junior college All-American was Jackie Jones last year.
Missing at the line, but Davis runs it down for the Sooners, and they turn it over. He could not get it out of bounds off a Tar Heel player. Rick Fox glides inside, right baseline. He buries a jump shot. The Sooners look long right after a basket, and the Heels were back defensively.
Davis weak side. That's 4, isn't it, on Williams?
Williams commits his 4th personal foul. With Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along at the Frank Irwin Center here in Austin, Texas. This is the first of our doubleheader. The winner of this one moves on to Dallas and the regional, where they will play the winner of the second game of the doubleheader, matching the Dayton Flyers against the Razorbacks of Arkansas. We have 12:27 left in regulation in the first half. North Carolina led by as many as 10. Oklahoma battled their way back. Now it's 54-53, a one-point game.
Excellent double team in the corner by Davis. Lynch battling his way, and Dean Smith has to go now to 3
Lynch
fresh.
and Davis are pushing on the inside, and they're going to call the foul on Lynch. A pushing match in the paint.
Brett, Dean Smith out there now in a critical point in the game, up 1, 3 freshmen on the floor.
One of the things that he has to be concerned with is that the one freshman started to lose his cool down here against Oklahoma. This is one thing you cannot do against this team. Jump by Jones, and Davis blocked again, and here he came.
Tough. Lynch is a tough player.
He is not backing away, is he? As Fox steps inside, couldn't get it to fall. So they're using big Matt Winstrom on the inside defensively, and the foul goes against the Tar Heels. And here we go again.
I think this time it will not be Lynch that gets charged with the foul. Winstrom picks up 1. He can afford that.
Foul is on number 55, Matt Winstrom. Technical on number 50, Tony Martin.
A technical foul has been called against Martin, and it came after the personal. He threw an elbow, and that's why the technical foul has been called on Tony Martin.
Correction, team race.
King Rice an 80% free throw shooter, but doesn't hit either one.
Tar Heels ball. They get possession on the technical foul rule after the free throws. So we're going to take a break at the 11:59 mark. 54-53. Well, we are back here in Austin, and this was a technical foul, Billy.
Fred, you're going to see Tony Martin on the inside, Lynch back here. Now, after the ball gets inside, watch what happens as Martin is going to throw just a cheap little elbow shot right here. And he popped Lynch in the back.
Carolina with a 1-point lead in the ball. Fox with a beautiful fake gives them a 3-point advantage. What a smooth player he is.
Rick Fox having a great game today. Started off hitting those 3-pointers in the first half. North Carolina now goes to a 2-1-2 zone. They haven't shown this today.
And now we'll see how the Sooners attack a zone here.
Exactly. Watch for Henry.
They turn it over. Fox lead pass for Rice in a foot race. And you don't want to get in a race with Henry. He'll stick up with you. Jones out. Fox taps it alertly after it was getting away from him right into Rice's hands.
One of the things Oklahoma has to be careful when they go against a zone, they want to go completely perimeter. I think they need to be thinking about Martin and Davis down inside against this zone some. Can live and die with that 3-point shot.
Great cut. Rice puts it in. It's a 5-point lead inside of 11 minutes in regulation. An 8 seed giving a 1 seed all at once here today.
Dean Smith
into Davis. And it's 58-55. There is no question that the Texas crowd here in Austin is pulling for North Carolina. It would be extreme. I'll tell you what. It's like George Custer going back into Montana, sending Oklahoma down to Austin and Dallas to play in the regional. And not a whole lot of friends down here for the Sooners. They're going to bring your own.
Left hand.
Beautiful runner that time. Hubert Davis, the 6'4" sophomore, with his first field goal.
What happened to Oklahoma on Davis's drive? They never anticipated a one-on-one move. Very seldom does North Carolina take somebody one-on-one off the dribble. It normally comes out of the total motion offense. And North Carolina showed the 2-3 zone, then they went man-to-man. Now they're back to the 2-3. It's a small team they have on the floor without Williams.
Lynn's at the freshman point. They'll set the table. Knocked away by the Tar Heels. And they forced the turnover without giving the Sooners a shot.
Didn't have the numbers. Smart move by Rice. Rice has been tutored by a pretty good point guard by the name of Phil Ford, who's on the staff at North Carolina. Done a fine job with him.
Chilcutt got the roll. Pete Chilcutt now has scored 12.
Looking to lob over the top of Madden.
Turnaround by Martin. Davis with an offensive board and a putback for the Sooners and a chance to complete a 3-point play.
It's a smart move by Oklahoma. Even though it's in a zone, they're going inside to Davis and Martin. And the twosome really doing the job. That Davis has great timing. Fox
playing with 3 personals for Carolina. Williams with 4 and Lynch with 4. For Oklahoma, Patterson with 4, Henry with 3, and Martin with 3. Looks like the Big Ten will advance on to the Sweet 16 with Michigan State.
Nice rebound by Chilcutt.
Almost stolen by Jones.
So active. Another one of those outstanding players from Detroit. Jones not giving Fox any room now.
Missed the jump shot. Battle for the rebound. And aggressively, the Tar Heels go after it, but alertly, the Sooners come back. Jones missing this three. Rebounded by the Tar Heels. They lead at 62-57 at the 8:45 mark.
With Patterson back in the game, Billy Tubbs figuring he's getting even some more range with that jumper. Patterson in foul trouble.
Quick turnaround by Fox. Offensive rebound by Lynch.
He's aggressive. He wants to go back in there 3-on-1.
Chilcutt. It's 64-57. Now 8:20 to go. Timeout, Oklahoma. Texas. There's our brackets for the Midwest region. Later today, Dayton will play Arkansas. Here, North Carolina with a chance to upend the #1 seed. They lead at 64-57. 8:14 to go. Billy, when is Oklahoma going to go back to the trapping defense?
Well, I think they're going to have to try that. What their key is, though, how do they get some shots off offensively?
And welcome those of you who have been watching Michigan State. Here we have a possible upset of a #1 seed. North Carolina with the ball and the lead. 64-57, but a lot of time. 7 minutes and 52 seconds to go. And Oklahoma in the man-to-man. They trailed by as many as 10 in the first half. Battled their way back into it. And here in the second half, it has been the Tar Heel discipline that has stood up and taken the lead here.
Brent, I think it's time for Scott Williams to get his hand on the ball offensively. There he is. Cannot score. He's just got 2 for the game.
But the freshman Lynch is playing a spectacular game. Not that time. Could not put it back.
Lynch should be smart on those offensive rebounds now when he's swarmed by Oklahoma to throw the ball back outside. North Carolina wants to use the clock.
Evans missing, and Fox backing out with the rebound. Gets it over to King Rice.
Dangerous pass. Cross court under the other team's basket.
Had to make it, though, Billy. Yep. He was falling.
You're right.
Had to get rid of the ball.
Now, North Carolina starting to extend their half-court offense out a lot farther. What they're looking for here, of course, are backdoor cuts.
6:45 left. It's 64-57. North Carolina with the lead in the ball. There is Rick Fox.
Had the glide on the shot.
And Williams coming up over the back. And let's hold on and see who. If it's Williams, it's #5, and he's long gone.
Brent, he has not been productive today except for the fact that he's played minutes. That's allowed somebody else to rest. He goes out of there with 2 points. Fouls out.
Fouls out with 6.5 minutes to go and only 1 first-half field goal.
Now, Chilcutt has to come back into the ball game, which makes North Carolina extremely small. And you can expect now that fatigue also becomes a factor because Dean Smith does not have another man with size or experience to go in to fill that position.
He does have a 7-foot freshman, Matt Winstrom, who has played about a minute here today, but certainly he does not have much experience.
I'll give you size, but I won't give you experience on that one. And you don't want freshmen in the game who have not played much all year long with just 6 minutes to go against the #1 team in the country.
Davis with a big afternoon. 15 points, 12 rebounds for the Sooners. 64-59 Carolina, and here comes the press.
They've been able to spell Rice some today, so I think Rice still has his legs.
Carolina tempoing the clock right now with this attack. Rice not even looking for his shot.
When he breaks into the left foul, I know he's got to turn and go to the basket. There it is.
Chilcutt missed an open jumper, so Carolina has missed some opportunities. 6 minutes to go. Now it's McCovery. He bangs in a 3.
And this is one of the advantages playing the up-tempo game. Your fellas don't pull up when they take the jumpers. They're feeling nice and relaxed. Big possession for North Carolina.
Sooners looking for that steal. Rice, and it's goaltending. Put it down, a 4-point lead.
I thought it was a good block, Brent. Jones came all the way from the weak side. I thought he caught this one going up. Definitely.
The three. 66-65 after McCovery's hoop. The lead down to 1. The cut by Lynch, and he could not power it down.
Had to leave the floor too early.
Davis's interior pass. Jones coming away. No traveling called.
Read that should have been a walk.
And the foul is against Evans.
Is this Lynch? Tough, hard-nosed player. And only a freshman. He doesn't mind getting into traffic.
Now Carolina over the limit. So the Sooners will shoot one-on-one the rest of the way. But the Sooners still have a foul to give.
Brett, North Carolina, with this much time on the clock, still has to attack against this trapping half-court 1-3-1. Not back in the days of the four corners when you can hold for shots.
Rice
is a good example.
Lynch, and Lynch, the freshman, continues to look for his shot.
Perfect example.
3-point lead. McCovery on the move was fouled.
Somewhere, somehow, Billy Tubbs, when he goes to that bench, every guy comes off, plays so positively on the offensive end of the court, not afraid to put up the shot. McCovery being the man of the hour now.
And Fox, having committed his 4th personal, putting McCovery up on the line. So here this afternoon, Carolina out shooting Oklahoma, but they have lost their big man, Scott Williams, on fouls, and Davis with a great game for the Sooners.
And has Midland, Texas been good to Billy Tubbs? McCovery, the man of the hour now. He had Ricky Grace, Mookie Blaylock. Strong. Love those guards.
A 1-point game.
Maybe that
68-67 is the score now. 4:26.
Tubbs stays in the 1-3-1 trap. Chilcutt catches the ball in traffic very well. So does Lynch and Madden, which will help against this particular defense. Dean Smith using Rice down inside.
Lynch is open. Quickly, Jones comes to him with McCovery, and Rice will bring it back out, and there's 10 seconds on the shot clock. And Rice takes it on the inside and goes to Lynch, who's cut off. Jumping back to the freshman on the turnaround, he hooks it in.
Excellent inside-outside passing and using the clock extremely well.
So Lynch keeping the Tar Heels ahead. 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3.5 minutes to go, and a 3-point North Carolina lead.
Straight man, Evans open.
Here's Davis. It's a 1-point game again. 17 points for Davis. Bringing the seconds off.
Notice, Brent, how they're trying to get the numbers inside, having 3-on-2. There it is.
There it is. Chilcutt coming up was fouled and made the field goal.
Perfect execution against the 1-3-1 trap. They get the ball to the center. Dean Smith has done a very subtle move here. He's moved King Rice to the foul line. So he becomes a distributor instead of the big man being the distributor, and he sees extremely well. They get the numbers 3-on-2 going in the other direction. The fellow wasn't in the top 10 over the decade of the 80s. 161 weeks in the 80s. He was in the top ranking 158 of those weeks.
Carolina goes to his bench now. Rodel and Lynch both check in, and there's under 4 minutes in that one as Ball State attempts to hold on against Denny Cron, like Dean Smith, another battle-tested veteran coach. And Chilcutt makes it a 3-point play. You've got a timeout. You're going to come back for the last 3 minutes. Carolina with a chance for an upset. For 3 straight years, Oklahoma has come into the NCAA, a #1 seed. They made it to the final in '88, where they lost to Danny Manning and Kansas. A year ago in the Southeast Regional semifinal, they were ousted by Virginia. And here today, Coach Tubbs and his family are hoping that the Sooners can come back. It's 73-69, North Carolina, 2:55.
Dean Smith picked up full court. He's changed defenses as he normally does after every timeout.
McCovery rims out, and Roto lost it underneath. Oklahoma ball.
Davis has Chilcutt pinned on his back. I think he can score inside if they get him the ball.
Jones 3. 1-point game.
But he's a big-time jump shooter. 6'8" or 9. Back to man now. Dean Smith took Lynch out of the game. Figure he needs him the last 2 minutes to rebound.
Timeout. Carolina. And Dean Smith will put him back in the game along with Fox. The Tar Heels will have 17 seconds to get off a shot when you return. With Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger. This is not the only one going down to the wire. Out in Salt Lake, Ball State, and Louisville, a 4-point game with 2:20 left in that one. Here we have 2:02. Both teams shooting 1-1 the rest of the way. And each coach with 3 timeouts remaining. Now, with 17 seconds on the shot clock, they're down to 10. And Lynch, who checked back in, now 7 on the shot against the trap off of Madden. He was out of bounds. Oklahoma's ball.
Brent, if it goes down low and you get a double team like that, you either have to put it up immediately or fire it right back out, as Madden did for Lynch the last time. No passing angle on that double team.
And a foul against Carolina. Lynch overplaying Davis down at the baseline, and they will send Davis up to the free throw line to shoot 1-and-1 with 1.5 minutes to go. And Lynch joins Williams on the foul on the bench as he has fouled out.
Fouled out, played a great basketball game. Scott Williams, who didn't get much done today, and if it had not been for Lynch, North Carolina had been long gone in this game. Now Dean Smith finds himself with no experience of any size to come in with off the bench. He's probably going to have to go with the lineup you see for the last minute and 36, which means that Oklahoma can go down inside to the likes of Davis.
Chilcutt at 6'9" would be his size on the inside. He's being joined by Madden and Davis and Rice and Fox at 6'7". So Fox would be the man they'd want to have shooting the ball the rest of the way. He is 4 of 5 at the free throw line. And his 18th point sends us back into a tie.
Davis has been to the line over 200 times this year, shoots right at 78%.
And the Sooners lead it.
Evans trying to keep the ball again away from Rice so Rice can't handle. Good move by Billy Tubbs.
Henry out on Fox. Chilcutt. Rice sees that there's 15 left on the shot.
And they've got to go to the 4 corners. Rice going one-on-one out front.
Under 10 on the shot. Down to 5. Fox is through. Puts Carolina up by 2.
That's not a 4 corners. They want Davis and Chilcutt.
They punch into Davis. He's got it. We're tied. And he'll come up to the free throw line with 39 seconds to go.
There's the pass over to Rick Fox, who has been sensational with a quick catch and jump shot from the perimeter. But the man who's been hard to handle on the other end of the floor has been Davis with those great spin moves, power moves inside.
21 points for Davis. Make it 22, and OU leads it. It's been a roller coaster ride for the Tubbs family here this afternoon, but her husband and the Sooners now find themselves up by a point with 39 seconds to go, and here comes that full court Oklahoma pressure against the Tar Heels.
Obviously, Brent, the key to get it in is shot clock off. North Carolina has the arrow in their favor, both teams in 1-1. And Oklahoma in straight man-to-man.
Fox wants it punched into him. Could not get the pass. They press the ball. Rice, and McCovery fouled him.
As Dean Smith was trying to call timeout, he could not get the timeout call, and the foul was committed right in front of him. He smiles when he couldn't get any of his players to get the timeout signal.
And another one going down to the final agonizing seconds out in Seattle between Louisville and Ball State.
Rice had a chance on those technical fouls to shoot two, missed both. So he's 0 for 2 from the line, both on those technical fouls.
Timeout has been called. Let's check in with Jim Nance. Very much in the situation here in Austin, Texas. King Rice will move up to the free throw line, shooting 1-and-1 for the Tar Heels. Oklahoma with a 1-point lead in this game.
Well, Brent, as we pointed out, King Rice been to the line one time today, and that was on the technical foul called down the other end on Martin. He missed both of those. And, of course, Billy Tubbs wanting to take as much time as possible here to make Rice think about it. We talk about a young man that's been maligned throughout the course of this year and took a lot of the abuse as to the fact that Carolina might not have reached the status that they're accustomed to. So he has a chance really to redeem himself here.
What a moment for the young man out of Banton, New York. He's a junior. He was a sensational high school quarterback, and now with the band almost directly behind him, he'll come up with the 2 biggest free throws of his career. It'll only be 2 if he hits the front edge. Tied. The key thing that Dean has reminded the Tar Heels about is they got 10 seconds. They're going to have to play defense after this, regardless of what happens here.
Plenty of time for Oklahoma.
Score tied. North Carolina ball. 8 seconds left in regulation.
And Dean Smith will take a timeout. And Brent, this is why he and most top coaches like to save those timeouts.
And let's check in again with Jim Nance. Jim?
Well, Chandler Thompson, remember Rick Majerus telling me last year during the NCAA tournament when his team was playing so well, he said, Billy, I've got a guy holding out. This is before he went to Utah by the name of Chandler Thompson. He's the best player I ever recruited, including the guys at Marquette.
All right, our stage here in Austin. 8 seconds left in regulation. North Carolina and Oklahoma tied. The Tar Heels with the ball. Oklahoma, the #1 seed, and Carolina came in an 8th seed. Rick Fox has been the big weapon with 21 points for Carolina, and Patterson will take him on the inbounds pass. They'll come through Davis, and he'll come to Fox. Fox comes down the baseline and hits it. Carolina wins it. Carolina upsets OU.
Now let's take you quickly now to Salt Lake City. Final seconds. Louisville trying to tie or win it.